What's up guys, it's Nick here at Gemini Reptiles and we're back with another episode. And today I thought we would do a little bit something different. This is going to be a room update sort of thing. We're going to go through, look at both Athena and Stitch. We're going to check out some of the bugs in my collection as well to see how my plants are doing. So you can tell this is Athena, this is the OG, this is the one that started it all. She is around 1.5 years old, something like that. She seems to be doing well. She's putting on a little bit of weight. But she's doing well, she's eating. She's not eating as much as she used to. But, you know, I think she's being affected a little bit harder on brumation than Stitch is. Because Stitch is eating like a champ. And we'll take a look at her in a little bit. Well, this is Athena's enclosure. Not much has changed. Plants are growing in a little bit more. We've got the Peperomia agrea with some few more stems back there. We've got this elephant ear plant here that's dying, but if you take a look down here, it's got a few more stems growing. And the pothos seems to be doing well too. So she's doing alright. We're going to take a look at Stitch, see what's going on with her. I'll be right back. So next up, this is Stitch's enclosure. She's in a 12 by 12 by 18. And if you've been following me recently, you might know that I rescued Stitch. The person I'd got her from no longer wanted to care for her, so I took her in. And she is up in the corner here. And like I've previously said, she's eating like a champ. She's eating a lot more than Athena would at this stage. And when I first got her, her hip bones were showing a lot. They're a lot better now. She's super active. And just like Athena's enclosure, her enclosure is bioactive as well. It's a naturalistic bioactive setup, which basically means it's got some live stuff in it, but most of the stuff is fake plants, the fake vines over here. But it's bioactive, so it's going to have your Springtails and Isopods down in the soil here. Let's see if we can zoom on this down here. That's not going to work. But there are Springtails in here. And hopefully she's going to be upgraded to an 18 by 18 by 18 or eventually get upgraded to Athena's enclosure, which is an 18 by 18 by 24. And that's a future project and we'll stay updated with that at a later date. Next up, we're going to take a look at some of the bugs in my collection, the Isopods, the Springtails, and the Booby roaches. So take a look at those guys. So first up on the list of insects, we have my Dwarf white isopods here. I got these at the latest expo that I went to, which was Rexpo here in New York, which is Rochester, New York. These guys are a subterranean species. They like it a lot more wet than what normal species would. And they breed really quickly. See if we can uncover a few there. Well, these guys are going to be getting an upgrade shortly. So I do have the 2 containers. But none of my enclosures have been seeded with these guys yet. I'm probably going to end up seeding these in a dart frog vivarium rather. But that'll be again in a later video. And we got another container here, the same stuff. See a few in there. They're not as prolific as I would have hoped, but I mean, these cultures are still around 2 months old, so still gonna give them a little bit more time to develop and actually culture themselves. So next up we have my giant canyons. I have 2 cultures of these guys as well. These guys are a lot larger than my other 2 species that I have, the powdered blue and the dwarf whites. These guys like it a lot drier. These guys get misted a couple times a week, maybe once a week. But they're all in the same sort of setup. Sphagnum moss, eco earth as well as this forest floor material. They're all doing pretty well. These ones were set up 622. I have another culture that was set up later. I want to say around 1122. These guys are doing well too. These are some of my larger ones that I have. There we are. These guys are doing well. They're in the same mixture, as well as a little bit of calcium. I have some broken up eggshell in there for them. Next, we're going to take a look at the powdered blues. Gotten 622 and 1218. So this first culture here, we've got a few in here. These guys breed a lot faster than your canyons over there. They're a lot more skittish. They're not as bold as the canyons there. So this one was done 622, and this culture over here is going to be made 12-8. And I don't think there's as many in this one, since this one is the second one that I made. And these guys are also seated in both Athena's enclosure as well as Stitch's over there. So there's that. I really like these guys. They are prolific and they get the job done. That's what it all comes down to. They poop and the decaying leaf matter. So next up in the cleaner crew, we're going to take a look at my Springtails. I do have 5 cultures, but we're only going to take a look at 2 because 3 of them, you know, they're small compared to my other 2. So we're going to take a look at those. So this first culture of Springtails was made 622. This was one of my starter cultures along with some of the isopods that we just saw. If you notice some of this goldish brown stuff, this is just a brewer's yeast formula I got from Glassbox Tropicals. It just molds over and the Springtails eat the mold. And then the next culture over here, you guys actually saw me make. We made this culture from this one. We'll take a look, see how it's doing. And it is doing well. We didn't put a whole lot in here, and they seem to be doing really well. Again, I fed these guys the other day. Might notice some bit of mold and stuff in there, but they'll take care of it. And with the original culture, I was able to seed these 3 little containers. I was originally going to start to sell them, but I might save these to just seed another vivarium that I plan on making. Next up, we're going to take a look at our roaches. There's some changes in there. If you guys have been following me, you guys actually saw me set the roaches up. So we'll see what's going on with those guys. So you might remember this enclosure here. This is what my Booby roaches were in previously. And as you can see there, these guys were started 913. I started with roughly around 8 at the time. And we will see how many we have now. So they got an upgrade. This is, I do believe, a 16 or 32 quart tub. Not quite sure which one. But as you can see here, they seem to be doing well. They're actually eating some crested gecko diet right now I took out of Athena's enclosure. And they're going ham on it. These are some of my nymphs. These are my larger nymphs. They will be molting into adults within the next month or so. So I'm excited about that. And we got some egg crates. Try to see if we can find some adults here. We got a male there. There we are. It's one of my adult females. Now, the reason why I'm breeding these guys is they make excellent feeders for when I get more reptiles in the future. And they will be coming with me when I move. So that's always fun. I'm eventually going to end up selling them as well as feeding them off. But that's nothing special. We have a lot of babies in here. I'm probably going to end up ordering some more females. My female to male ratio is off. Generally you want a ratio of 1 male to 5 females with a temperature around 85 for breeding purposes and, you know, relative humidity. I miss these guys down quite regularly, and they also get some crystallus water. Stay still. Let's see if we got any under here. But yeah, that's a wrap, guys. That is the room update. You guys have been updated with both my geckos, my bugs, and some plans for the future. One last thing before I go, we can check out the plants. So this is my micro vivarium. It's just in an 18 by 18 by 18 cube. This is what Stitch is probably going to get upgraded to, or I'm probably going to put dart frogs in here, because the majority of the plants that I do have in here were originally intended for dart frogs. You've got some depressa over here, some giant dwarf tears, dwarf baby tears. We have a Markgravia Columbia. We have some creeping fig right here. We got a lemon button fern. We have a lipstick plant. I'm not quite sure of the Latin name, but that's what it is, the lipstick plant. And we got 2 Narrogalias. We have one Narrogalia Zoe, which is right there. She's starting to pup. She's actually got 2 decent pups on her. And then we have the original Narrogalia Hannibal Lecter. I've had this since the start. It popped up once for me, but then I tried cutting it and replanting it, and it just ended up dying, so that didn't really work. But these guys, as well as the other 3 plants that I showed you, those 3 are going to get put in here. They're probably going to get put in with the dart frogs. Help out with that. So stay tuned for another build, hopefully.